Welcome to the Let Go Movement podcast, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Akeisha. I'm your host. And today's conversation is about with great power comes great responsibility. That famous quote, I think it was said in Spider-Man. I don't think it was meant for Spider-Man, to be honest. I think that message was through the vehicle of Spider-Man, but that actual message is for us as beings, as infinite freaking beings who, from my point of view, from my perspective, from my awareness, from my knowledge, we've lived so many lives. We've been everything. We've done everything. What do we want to choose? And a lot of times power is, talked about in like power over, like power controlling. But I like to switch it back to its truth that we have the power. Like you as an individual have power, not to be power over, but to be powerful in the creation of your reality that you've created. And reality being everyone's different reality, your life, essentially, how life shows up for you, what you get to create, what you get to experience, where you're going, who your friends are, who you're talking to, what you're receiving. It's all a creation by you. And when you can actually start to step into that and see that as so freaking powerful, like we've heard from so many people. If you're listening to me, you probably heard this through somebody else. And if you're listening to me and you're new to me, this might be the first time you're hearing it, or it's probably, me saying it as an affirmation that, you're meant to be hearing this. But we are super powerful. Like we have the power to change the world. Everyone has the power to change something in their life, to change everything in their life, because you are the powerful one creating your life. But what we have been taught is to separate ourselves from being the powerful ones and give the power up to somebody else. In doing so, we don't want to be responsible for the choices that we're making, for actually what we're creating, because that, some people might judge that. I don't judge that. I come from a space of we are so powerful. We create our own realities. That is freaking amazing. And I've created XYZ. Great. Okay. Maybe I liked it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it worked for me at one point. Maybe it's not working anymore for me now, but I can create whatever I want to create. I have that power. We all have that power. But in doing so, when we actually own and acknowledge that we are that powerful, with that power, like was told to Spider-Man, comes great responsibility and self-responsibility. And how many of us don't actually want to be responsible for what we're creating, how we're showing up? We just want to blame the fuck out of everything else around us. We just want to blame the government. We just want to blame XYZ. We want to blame the economy. We want to blame our past. We want to blame our ex. We want to blame our childhood. What if we let all that shit go and we acknowledge that we create everything and we have choice? That is so freaking powerful. And we can take self-responsibility for what we think, for how we're showing up, for not wanting to be responsible for, our portion of the conversation that happened between the ex that might have blown shit up. I don't know, just an example. But if we are taking self-responsibility and owning and stepping into, okay, I'm choosing this. I'm choosing this. This is the future I want to choose. This is the future I want to create. I do think we would make different choices. I do think the power back to the people would happen so quickly if we all acknowledged how fucking powerful we are, that we create our realities, that we create the reality. And every reality is different for every person. How you perceive it is so different, but we have power in that. We have choice in that. I can choose how I perceive something. I can choose on how I respond and react to something. That's all a choice. That's so fucking powerful. I'm going to drill it into your head in this episode of you are powerful because you create your reality. And now you have the responsibility to create something that you'd really like to create and see and experience and have and enjoy and create for somebody else. And maybe that awareness opens something up to you choosing to maybe make a different choice because you can see maybe now how you not owning your power, how you kind of offloading your power to like the government or a doctor or a person of some sort, where you're kind of giving your power away. You're letting someone else choose for you. Maybe you don't like the future that something is going in a direction. Okay. What can we choose today that can change that? What can we choose today that can add to an energy of complete overhaul of whatever system? How can we own our power again and ask a different question, make a different choice, go somewhere else, not have a conversation, have a conversation, release the judgment in our choices because we have the power to change, to choose. So I had this conversation with a really young man a few weeks ago. By the time I'm recording this, it's been a week or so. Really young man. He was like 23. And we were talking about like, how do we change the world? How do we help humanity get to a level of love and vibration and gratitude and abundance? And I said to him, remember, we all have it within us. If we're all one, if we're all, of a creator, of a source, of God, of the universe, however that shows up in your world, we all have the same power to choose the life that we want and to choose to create. But we have been taught that someone else does it for us. We've been taught that it's outside of us. We've been taught that we actually don't have the power. That's not how it works. So when we all, each of us in our own divine timing, in our own way, on our own journey, can recognize, reclaim, if you will, own, acknowledge, step into the power that we have innately as soon as we are born. Even as infinite beings, we're so powerful because we get to choose. We have this power. Now it's like our responsibility to choose the life that we want, to make different choices, to start to choose to create a future that thrives, instead of letting someone else choose us, even though we're like, that's going to diminish everything and that's going to destroy everything. Well, you're not maybe making a different choice. You're not actually asking different questions. You're just letting someone else take you in a direction. You're just letting a narrative play out instead of maybe choosing something different. When we own and acknowledge how powerful we are, we'll start making different choices. The world will change. The world will heal itself when we start to know how freaking powerful our bodies are, how we are, how letting go of things that do not serve us changes our life from the inside out. Like, heavens, I was just on a call with someone today. We were tapping into trapped emotions. There was some stickiness around a subject in her life. I won't go into the details, but we cleared details. We cleared emotions from our past. We cleared things that weren't fully processed, that were kind of clogging up the system, if you will. You can listen to the episode that I've got coming out or have published. I'm not quite sure when this one will publish, but on emotion code healing. And she was like, oh, wow, I didn't even know I was holding that in. And then she messaged me a couple days later and she goes, whatever we cleared, all those events in my life, like, I don't have that anxiety anymore. It's not sticking me. I'm shifting out of the state of anxiety so much faster. I'm like catching myself with it. Like that's, to me, that's amazing. To me, that is life changing, because if we're letting anxiety and fear run our system, we are not fully aligned with ourselves. And so letting go of things that do not serve us, having that choice, owning our power, and knowing that we are that powerful. Yet we create everything in our life. We create the mole on our hand. We create the back pain. We create the computer that you're watching or listening to this on. We create this microphone. I created having this microphone. Everything is a creation. And when I step into that, when I lean into that more and more and more on this journey that this life is at this time, when I lean into that, I feel so powerful. And when I'm around a bunch of people who are leaning into that and knowing and owning that and choosing that, ooh, the shit we create changes the world. I swear. I know it. So, wrapping this conversation up, where are you separating from that? Where are you choosing to not see yourself as that fucking powerful? Where can you choose that more? Where can you know, be, perceive, step into the power that you have, that you are powerful, that we all are powerful, and then we're all creating this and having that responsibility, owning that responsibility to be responsible for the life you're creating, the future you're creating. What would you choose now? What's ready to be chosen now? And everything that doesn't allow that, you know what to do. Just let it all go. Any judgments that are coming up, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. Let it go. And choose. And relish in the power that is. And own it. Own your shit, right? Okay. That is enough for today's episode. Thank you so much for being here. Stay in the magic, everybody. Like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment if you can. If you're on a device that lets you do that. If you're listening to this on something that does it, rate the episode. Let me know what you're choosing. Comment power in the comments, just to be like, get the movement of power, get that energy of I am powerful, we are powerful. Drop that down in the comments. And let's get going in creating a super powerful future for all beings, for all creatures, for all consciousness, life, galaxies, all of it. Okay. Until then, I will see you in another episode. Thank you so much for being here. Peace out.